Have you watched this documentary on Netflix? If you haven't watched it, that is no longer my problem. I gave you guys plenty of time to watch this, and now I have to share everything that I was thinking and feeling while I watched this documentary, which is insane. So if you're wondering if there's going to be spoilers, absolutely, because no one told you behind not to watch this documentary. And if you watched it and you got thoughts, I want to hear them. First and foremost, Ian and Angela are exactly the reason why we have to use the word alleged. Why? Because these heifers came together and concocted a story about his ex-wife or ex-fiance, writing her threatening emails. She's pregnant with their twins. She's terrified. She is sending men over to SA her that she found on Craigslist. Poor Michelle over here is like a psychopath. Michelle gets arrested, is facing life in prison, spends 88 days in jail. Yes. However, while watching this documentary, we find out that Angela here is a psychopath. Angela had an ex-boyfriend who she dated, proceeded to tell him and all their friends that she had cancer. She even had a close friend that loved her so much that felt so bad that she was losing her hair while getting chemo that homegirl shaved her head off. And guess what happened? She saw her one day, she's wearing like a little hat, you know. She saw her going like this. She thought it was because her head was itchy. She realized this homegirl got more hair than her. I know, it's crazy. Then when they start investigating, because she decides to send her ex-boyfriend, at the time her boyfriend, a picture, you know, like she was getting chemo, he decides to do a Google search. And lo and behold, there's that picture from somebody that in fact was getting chemo. Yes. So what did this smart human being of a man do? An intervention with all of her friends, had her walk in and pretty much called her out, saying, where's your port? We know you're lying. We know you don't have cancer. I can't believe this. You see, that should happen to every liar, because in my opinion, that would help them think twice, okay, about being humiliated. But she didn't stop there. That intervention did not work with her. She ended up lying and saying that she was pregnant with twins. Had a whole bunch of pregnancy tests and apparently would use a marker. I wonder if Ian knew, because we now then learn that Ian is an equal psychopath. Michelle thankfully was released. Keep in mind, Michelle, 88 days in jail, facing life in prison. Her dad lost his business, because who the hell give business to someone who has a daughter who's a psychopath? Yes. She comes out probably without a job or nothing. Thankfully, she does sue and she gets money from the state. However, how do we find out he was a U.S. Marshal? So in the U.S. Marshal government has a whole department where they investigate when a government employee is involved in a crime, whether they're guilty or not. Thankfully, they started investigating. And like Michelle says, look, when I was released, no one asked me about Ian. No one wanted to hear about Ian. And then Angela over here pled guilty to the emails and lying about it. Homegirl got like 5 years. She got a whole new life somewhere else now, while Michelle was facing life in prison, okay? Then she starts telling people about Ian, that Ian is very controlling, that Ian would follow her every move. She practically had to leave him when his best friend was over. Let's talk about that best friend, crazy as hell. Do not tell me you're not in love with that man, because there's no way in hell that any human being with the amount of evidence that they saw would believe in this man. Again, poor Michelle. This is why when people are arrested, so many people go and make Facebook groups and go and destroy these people's lives. You have to be careful, because there are people like this that'll get your ass arrested and lie. You'll spend 90 days in jail almost, while they're free, living their life. Both psychopaths. I feel like one psychopath found the other. They just came together. I need to know your thoughts on this, because I'm pissed. If I see his best friend,